Hey everyone, I hope you are ready for this exciting time. You know, it's the start of the month. So if you're looking to improve, whether that be through decision points and guiding the player, life as an indie dev, or how to improve your open world encounter designs, stick around. Hey everyone, I hope you're well, playing and or making the games that you all love. You're joining your host, me, Max Pears. For those of you who don't know, I'm a professional level designer with over 7 years of experience working from indie, mobile, and now currently AAA at studios such as Ubisoft and CD Projekt Red. So thank you very much for joining me, and I hope you and your loved ones are safe and well. This one here, for those of you who may not know, is the start of the month, which means I scour the globe, find some of the best references, resources for us to all grow. Because after all, I do not know everything. And we have incredible brothers and sisters in this industry who are always putting out fantastic information for us to all consume. So I find them to share with all of you lovely people. So I hope you're excited about this one. I am too, because we've got some great examples to come through. All of these here will be down in the description below, so if you do want to check them out, you can just follow them from there. And please don't forget to subscribe to this no matter where you're listening, Spotify, YouTube, many more exciting places, and recommend this to a friend because it helps us grow and it helps us get even better content made for all of you amazing people.
But first, let's have a quick word from today's sponsor. Today's sponsor is none other than me. What I've done, everyone, and I hope you're excited for this, is I've actually created a level design kind of store. What I've done in this store is put up different kinds of tips and tricks that you can find there, whether that be my actual ebook itself to that of level design pamphlets focused on different things such as traversal, stealth, breaking into the industry, as well as different talks that I have done which you cannot find anywhere else other than on this store. So if you are looking to improve on your level design skills and processes, then check out the level design store, which will be down in the description below, where there'll be a link to find this. All you need to do is head over to gumroad.com/level design lobby. I hope you like what you see, and I look forward to hearing your thoughts. Thank you, and now back to the show.
Now with that out of the way, we can finally get into it. So let's go to resource number 1. This here is Open World Encounters. This is done by none other than one of our favorite designers out there, who is just a constant knowledge drop. But for those of you who don't know, Julius, as I'll refer to him on this point, just so I can make sure I say it correctly, is a fantastic level designer who specialized, or should we say put a lot of his attention towards that of open world encounter designs. He's got a blog which he's releasing constant updates on, and this is the latest installment on that itself. This one here is about open world encounter design. So for those of you who may not know, designing an open world encounter is slightly different than actually designing a more linear main mission level. For obvious reasons, you don't always know which direction the player is going to come in, when they're going to arrive, how far in the game, all of these elements. So you've got to kind of keep on your toes and design slightly different than how you would for those of the more, linear designers mentioned. Julius will go through and break down things such as encounter, and when I say this, it's not just that of how we approach them, but how they intertwine as well. One of the points he comes through is encounter overlap. How far do you space and distance between that of your encounters, or which ones do you decide to actually overlap yourself to kind of encourage emergent gameplay? These kind of topics on when's the best chance to do this and when is the best time. Kind of what variables are at your disposal, what kind of missions templates is it that you have. As we know, a lot of these open world games will have certain similar, styles of open world missions. So how far do you separate these? What can you do to add variety to them as well to make them feel less how do we say, formulaic, bringing that test and challenge and not having that repetitive feel to them as well. These kind of elements that come into it and help, how do we say, break it up, make sure the encounters feel so fresh and engaging as well. There's much more in this article as well. I don't obviously want to give too much away because I want you to go and read it, and Julius is an absolute fantastic level designer, just a great guy, and someone who, as I said, I have so much respect for, and who's constantly looking at open worlds and figuring them out further. And I think, yeah, if you haven't already, do subscribe to his blog post, because again, there's so much lovely information. Now, without further ado, let's go into round 2 for that of our next resource. The second one comes from Robin Gaming. Now, I haven't actually seen this channel before. It was shown on Twitter by a friend of the show, Dennis Armand, who is another fantastic level designer, just a great guy, constantly sharing good resources. So he put this up on Twitter, and I found it and went through there, but just thought it was such a great video, and just congrats to Robin Gaming, who's doing some incredible content for it. So this is the first video that I've personally found of his, but he's talking about how Naughty Dog lead and guide the players subconsciously. What are the level design techniques that they're using to push, pull, reveal, withhold information from the player in order for them to go in a certain direction that they, the designers, want the player to follow. It's a lot of interesting work that goes into these. We've spoken about this. We've seen Tommy, you show some of these techniques with his fantastic diagrams as well. But for those of you who may not know all the techniques of how to guide with framing, level composition, the denial and reward, these techniques, he breaks them down in a very understanding way. This is about 20 minutes long, so there's plenty of examples and plenty of different methods that's actually used by Naughty Dog, which they employ to freshen it up. It's not just one design technique done over and over. They think of things that are new, think of different ways that they can obviously pull the player without, as you say, we're communicating with players subconsciously. So we're not just trying to do the same thing over and over, because eventually when that happens, people already know what's coming. That's also why you can subvert as well. That's another topic for a different time. However, as I said, this episode here, which again is called How Naughty Dog Decides Your Decisions, has incredible examples, really well put together, and has more things for us to just all learn from. As I said, 20 minutes, great video. Check it out. Some more videos of his I probably will be looking at moving forward too. So really good work by this man here. Now we're going on to Resource 3. Resource 3 comes from none other than a previous episode that I've released here, which is a chance I had to sit down with principal level designer Kai Zhang. For those of you who may not know what a principal level designer is, a principal level designer is kind of, how do I say, imagine you're going up the path where you have your junior, intermediate, senior, and lead. A principal level designer, from my understanding, is kind of on the same level as a lead, but not have the responsibility of running the team. The principal level designer is there who works with the lead in order to set up the best principles, guidelines, rules, regulations for the level's sort of styles and techniques that the rest of the team are going to employ to their levels to make sure that they fit in that same vision, so that they can kind of all be cohesive levels throughout the entire game. And that's one of the big things there. Kai has worked on a ton of incredible games, that from Battlefield to Dead Space, personal favorite of mine, God of War, one of my all-time favorite games, 2018, and talking about how he learnt about different types of level design, what he thinks about when he's making different levels for different games. He compares them a lot to that of cooking. When you're creating a high-end meal, how is it that you kind of create a different meal even if you have the same ingredients or different ingredients? Ingredients referring obviously to that of mechanics as well. So if you haven't checked it out, do go check it out. It's a fantastic interview. We had great fun doing this. An incredible mind of someone who, again, has been in the industry for a long time and is just thinking about things slightly differently. So if you are looking for something there, or if you're wondering about more of different opportunities that can be afforded to you as a level designer moving up the chain, seriously, go no further than check this one out here, everyone.
At Level Design Lobby, we believe everybody has a story to tell. Hobbyist or student, freelancer or veteran, we made it our mission to unite those who share our passion for creating and developing great games. Thanks to our generous Patreon backers, we've been able to do just that. So if you've already pledged your support, thank you. If not, you too can ensure the future of Level Design Lobby, helping us to create even more exciting content, collaborations, interviews, and much more. With awesome perks and rewards, whether you're a seasoned professional or just getting started, you're sure to find something for you. Want to share tips, tricks, and advice with passionate, like-minded developers? Our awesome community Discord has you covered. Fancy practicing your level design, creating strong portfolio content, and having fun? Then try our level design weekends. Or perhaps you want to individually discuss your work, hone your skills, or level up your career? Then consider our one-on-one mentorships. If you share our vision, then go to patreon.com/Level Design Lobby for more information and to pledge your support. Thank you.
Now, before we move on to the final two, I actually want to give a little bit of a shout out. You'll just have heard then the ad for the Patreon. Well, this is great news for those who are part of it or those who are looking to get into it. We now have the weekly task coming up the day after this episode is released. So this episode will be released on the Tuesday. The Wednesday after, we're releasing our weekly challenge. For those of you who don't know what that is, our weekly challenge is where anyone who's part of the podcast in the level 5 or above tiers will be given a small level design task to use for inspiration for a portfolio piece and a great test and challenge to improve on your level design skill. You will get to share this with our credible community where we give feedback to one another. And if you want to do this, and there are other challenges as well, but the next one coming is based in the Hitman levels, which are some of the most incredible levels out there in terms of design, the amount of options and kind of choices available for you, a player, is next level, really. So if you're looking to improve your level design skills or are just a fan of the Hitman series, then come do join the Patreon, because as I said, we've got some incredible work being put out there, and also come try our weekly challenges. So join tier 5 and get ready to have some fun and improve your overall portfolio. Now, with that being said, let's move on to the fourth resource. Now, this here is a book. Now, some of you who follow me on Twitter may have already seen the book because I recently purchased it. I think it was the start of this year. The book here is called Operative Design. The authors are Anthony D. Mari and Nora Yu. It's an incredible architecture book which breaks down elements from such basic shapes and forms, the volumes that we can use, the kind of room shapes, how do they intertwine, how do they interlap. But it's giving you different shapes that you might not always think of, right? As I say multiple times, those who, are more junior, and myself when I was a junior, create more boxy rooms, but they're showing you different types of rooms, how they overlap, how they are connected, and what kind of options you actually have by having these style of rooms, whether this be angling certain roof elements, making H boxes instead of just a square, these kind of elements here that just makes you think. Or one of my favorite I learned about is the Y corridor and how that connects, and I've actually just used it recently in one of my levels too. So it's a great book. It's very visual, so it keeps everything clean and concise. The diagrams are fantastic. As I said, I am a huge fan of this. It just shows us different elements that we have at our disposal when creating architecture. So if you're looking to improve not only your level design, but your understanding of architecture, trust me, this is a great book. There is a second one, but we'll talk about that another time. So do go check this out. Everyone here, brilliant one. Now the final one, last but definitely not least, is Year 4 My Indie Life. This article can be found on Gamma Sutra. This is brought to us by Kevin Gigori. I hope I've pronounced your name correctly, because I definitely don't feel I have, mate, so I sincerely apologize for that one. But this one here is a fantastic breakdown of his kind of, well, life as an indie. This is year 4 that I'll be linking to. There are year 1, 2, 3, and many other articles that he's published. But this one here just caught my eye because this is the first one that I found. But I think when we think about indie, we sometimes think about just solely the success stories, right? And it's not that he is not a success story. But we think of the big ones like Super Meat Boy, Fez, Journey. These all huge indie games that blew up and became part of the pop culture of games, right? Yet there are so many different ways that indie life can go. From sadly that of people who are unable to go indie for very long, with companies going bankrupt, to people who are making a living, but it's not a huge living, but are still able to go do this. And to hear his opinion on year 4, which is very impressive. Most companies go bankrupt by year 1, just for the record. So to see that he is still making games, multiple games at that, and different variety of games, different lifestyle options that he has, all as an indie, again, just very interesting to it, and it could be very helpful for those who are wanting to pursue a career either now or later in life of that of an indie, something for you to maybe help you grow, look out for certain pitfalls, these elements, which again, overall, fantastic. As I said, year 4 is linked below, but he does have year 1, 2, 3, and other great articles to check out. So yes, brilliant work there, especially for those who want to move through and possibly grow into that indie, and stuff to consider when you are moving or transitioning into that indie lifestyle. Okay, everyone, that is all of the resources that I have for you. So let's just go through them just again. The first one comes from Open World Encounters, which is by Julius, which allows us to think more about different kind of elements that affect the open world and how you're building your missions within them. Next comes from that of Robin Games, which is how Naughty Dog designs your decisions, talking about how we can get players to move through our levels, communicate with them subconsciously. We then have our interview with Kai as he talks about his role as a principal level designer and how he compares designing for different genres as that of meals and different types of ingredients available to us. We then have Operative Design by Anthony, which is a great book on different types of architecture rooms that are available for us to use when we're actually building out our level spaces. And then the final one is Year 4 Indie Life, breaking down how Kevin here is going through his life and transitioning into indie and how he's established it to be around for 4 incredible years. Now, as I said, if you do want to support the show, please do subscribe, let your friends know, recommend it to everyone who is wanting to be in game dev. Go do that there. If you want to reach out to me and maybe suggest incredible other resources, you can do so either on Twitter, which is @MaxPairs, or you can email to the show leveldesignlobby@gmail.com. If you do want to take part in the Hitman level design task we're about to release tomorrow, then do join the Patreon. Level 5 or above will get you access to this incredible feature here. So thank you all very much for listening. Really do appreciate each and every one of you. And yes, can't wait to catch you all next Tuesday as the podcast releases once a week on the Tuesdays, every Tuesday. So thank you all very much. Take care, stay safe, keep designing, and I'll catch you all next time.